Hi everybody. Today I'd like to cover two topics. One is the fact that the Common Application is now open. So all you parents who have rising seniors should be breathing a sigh of relief because it's time to get cracking on those applications. And number two, I want to talk about experience multipliers. Things that you can have your son or daughter do to explode their experience, their senses, and what they're going to get out of any particular activity. Multiply it by 5, 10 times. Let's start with the Common Application. It opened up yesterday, so now if you have a rising senior, they can start filling it out. But before I jump ahead, in case somebody hasn't been following me and don't know what I'm talking about, my name's Phil Black. I run an online mentoring program called PrepWell Academy, where I help rising freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors make smart decisions about high school, about college admissions, careers, majors, and life. Now, I've been doing this for several years. I am a former Navy SEAL, Goldman Sachs investment banker, Yale and Harvard Business School graduate, Shark Tank contestant, entrepreneur, firefighter, father, husband, and I've got 4 sons going through this process right now. And I'm particularly interested in this process, this application process, because the time starts now. Now, people who are PrepWellers, who enrolled in the program, this is a great day for them. They are excited when the Common Application comes out because they've been tracking and recording things that they've been doing over the last few years. So it's not stress time for them. It's time to finally take everything that they've been doing and put it in the official Common Application. If you don't know, the Common Application is an application that covers over 500 different schools, and you only have to fill it out one time. One time you're going to have to write down your name, your address, your parents' names, and all your information and your transcript and all that stuff. It's all done one time. Now, sometimes there's some supplemental essays, but the convenience of it is great. You don't have to fill out 10 different unique applications like we used to do when we were growing up. So it's a big deal. And as of August 1st, that application is ready to rock and roll. Now, if you've been a PrepWeller, you have a LinkedIn account, and you've been doing this for years now. So the idea is with a LinkedIn account, you've put down your extracurriculars. You know what your classes are. You know the awards that you've gotten and the recognition that you've gotten. You're not scrambling right now, trying to remember, go back in the Wayback Machine and say, Mom or Dad, what did I do the summer in between freshman and sophomore year? No. All that stuff's done because you have a LinkedIn account. Most of you probably know what LinkedIn is. I have all my PrepWellers start a LinkedIn account freshman year, at the latest sophomore year. That's one of the mandatory milestones in my program. They open up a LinkedIn account, very easy. They can keep it private for as long as they like. And they send it to me, I take a look at it, and they start tracking all of their extracurriculars, all their rewards, all their awards, all their recognition, things that they won. And over time, it compiles, and it really starts to become pretty big. Hi, Lisa. So the big news now is that if you're a rising senior, I like to say that 80% of it is done. In fact, I have some of my seniors writing to me, say, hey, Mr. Black, guess what? The Common Applications came out. I'm already done with it because I've been tracking and picking up this stuff all along. I don't like it when I talk to seniors who have not done any of this yet, and this is a big shocker. They have to go back and they have to write and they have to remember what they've done over all these years, and it's tough. It's tough to do. So if you have a rising senior, if you have a rising junior and sophomore and freshman for that matter, and they're not enrolled in PrepWell Academy, give them this tip. Start a LinkedIn account and start building their repertoire. Track everything. It's hard to remember 3 years back what happened, and you're not going to have the right words, you're not going to have the right experience, so do it as it comes. So for some of my PrepWellers, this is a day of reckoning because they're finally like, finally the hard work paid off. You've been telling me for years and years to track my stuff, and guess what? Now they get to reap the rewards. They get to fill this out. Now, the essay takes a little bit of time, and they've been brainstorming and thinking about that. And we give them all kinds of help on brainstorming essays. But the blocking and tackling, the everyday stuff, they're breezing through. They're not racking their brains. So that is awesome. I would encourage your son or daughter to get cracking on this right away, especially if they haven't been tracking for a long time, because it could take a little while to get the wordsmithing down, to figure out what you've done, to go back into the archives and figure out what types of things they did in the summers and what award they got, what poetry award they got, what MVP award that they got. Some of that stuff is not easy to recall. And sometimes they get their parents involved to try to help figure it out. So that's the first thing I wanted to do. So the piece of advice is get cracking on that common application, start knocking it out, take a look at those essays, prompts if you haven't, pick one that you like, start working on it. Those things take a long time to flesh out and make sure that you're really cracking and going in the right direction. The second thing I want to talk about is what I call experience multipliers. These are things that your son or daughter can do, particularly over the summer, that have massive exponential impact on them. Now, my two sons, who are rising freshmen, they are going on one of these experience multipliers tomorrow. They go to their Boy Scouts, and they're going to Philmont, which is in New Mexico, for a 14-day expedition. This is an experience multiplier. Anybody out there who have son or daughters who've gone on these trips, by experience multiplier, I mean, yes, they're going and they're hiking for 14 days, but the experiences they will encounter will be off the charts. Number one, there's a lot of planning and logistics. There's teamwork. There's dealing with people who you may not normally deal with. There's leadership. There's struggle. That's the big one. They are purposely struggling. When you go out on these trips, there's guaranteed to be rain. In fact, in the forecast in New Mexico, it says it will likely rain at least every other day for 10 days. That is struggle. That is being annoyed. That is being impatient. That is fighting through the battles. That's what kids need. Yes, a 4.5 GPA would be nice too. Yes, a 35 on the SAT would be grand. But guess what? The grit and overcoming struggle and things that are not particularly fun, that is experience multiplication. So when they go out on this trip, I know they're going to check off a bunch of these things. They're going to struggle. They're going to have to make decisions. They're going to have to be leaders. They're going to have to deal with people who they don't normally deal with, who are not their lacrosse buddies and their basketball buddies, and they're all basically identical to one another. They're going to have to deal with people and parents in difficult situations, trying situations, struggling situations, and that is an experience multiplier. So if there's any way you can get your son or daughter, particularly over the summer, to have some kind of experience that has multiple different things. Number one, it's novel. They've never done it before. Number two, there's some level of struggle. Maybe it can be fun too, of course. That can really light you up and inspire you to do things. But try to get them into experiences, whether it's water skiing, or it doesn't have to be expensive either. Just something, it could be volunteer work. It could be working on the house. It could be doing something that gets their experiences to multiply and have more than just a singular experience. That's what I know my sons are up against tomorrow. We've been packing for the last couple of days. Just got back from Connecticut, and it's go time. So rising senior, it's go time to get those applications going. And anybody else out there, rising 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th high schoolers, time to look for an activity that is an experience multiplier. Man, does that help out for your college essays down the road. Thank you for watching. If this is something that's interesting to you, please share it with a friend, tag them, give me some suggestions below. Lisa Butler, thank you so much for joining me. I can always count on you to be in here. I haven't really had a specific time where I'm going live, but I have committed, as you probably know, to going live every day, trying to serve you, trying to give you little tidbits, little bits of advice to help you, whether you have a son or daughter who's in middle school, in high school, running, going to be a rising senior and getting down to the wire. That's what I'm trying to do. I hope this has been helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you like what we're talking about here, if this is helpful to you, or if there's something else that you think would be more interesting, please put it in the comment below. I check out the comments even after this has been posted, even after this has been live, and I will try to address those things. So please do that. If you're interested in joining or looking into PrepWell Academy, or actually enrollment is closed right now, but opening up in a few weeks, if this is something that you think your son or daughter might be interested in, or you have a friend or a family member who is oftentimes mystified, sometimes they're stressed out, sometimes they're intimidated by the college admissions process. It doesn't have to be that way. We have a pretty good way of breaking it down so that these steps are spread out over time and you can knock them out and reduce the stress. So please join us, PrepWellAcademy.com. We still have a month left in summer, so if you're interested in goal setting, I can send you a custom goal setting form at PrepWellAcademy.com/P/goals, and I will send you a specific custom goal setting worksheet that you can sign and you can use with your son or daughter depending on what grade they're going into. I wish you luck, especially for those parents with rising seniors. This is going to be a tough few weeks. Fill out that common application, start on those essays, work on those financial aid applications, and get after it. Thanks for visiting today, and see you tomorrow.